Hello, welcome to the video. For those that don't know me, my name is Howard. I am a growth marketer, and at this stage in my career, I've worked inside over 30 startups to help them find out how they can grow their business as quick as possible. My speciality is with paid advertising, but I also work on a lot of other areas outside of that. What I thought would be useful from my experience is to go through the 10 biggest reasons that I am seeing people fail in the startup space and the biggest problems that I see people have that I'm always working with them to try and solve. This of course is just what I am personally seeing, but if you are having any problems yourself, please do feel free to leave them in the comments. I would love to address them or maybe even do a video on those in the future. Okay, so getting straight into it. One of the big problems that I see startup businesses having is actually delving too much into the product without finding out the customer that they need to serve in the first place. So it's very exciting building a new business and building a new product or service, and a lot of times we can get so focused on meticulously optimizing and tweaking and testing our product without focusing on the main thing, which is the problem it's trying to solve and the customers we're actually going after. They'll jump right into things like design and testing and tweaking with different features without actually looking out and going on product interviews, doing deep research on Reddit, and actually speaking to their own initial customers as well. And a lot of times this can lead to a very big pain point because you have this product that is beautifully built, works beautifully, and you've put so much time and energy into it. And that makes it even more frustrating when you get to the point that people just aren't buying it and you can't just seem to find product market fit. And the reason is because you've built a beautiful product, but you don't actually know what it's solving. Another big mistake that I see business owners make, specifically in the early stage startup space, is they spend so much time on branding and making their brand look beautiful without actually validating demand first of all. They'll build a beautiful brand and think this is the way my business needs to look, and then they'll put that out to the masses. Now, there's a couple of problems that this causes. Number one, it means that you're actually spending your time on the wrong thing. Branding, whilst important, it's not going to make or break your business at the early stage. You need to have something that looks great and gets your message across, but you do not need to be spending the majority of your time on that. You need to be spending the majority of your time on the product or the service and getting that in front of people. And also the next problem that's going to have is it often gets in the way of you wanting to test lots of different marketing efforts. Me as an online marketer, I want to put out as many ads and test as quickly as possible. And a lot of times you get pushback from founders that it's not on brand or doesn't fit our messaging. But unfortunately, at the early stage of a business, it's up to the marketing to find who your customer is and to find what the messaging should be. So don't be scared to rip up the playbook a little bit and start testing outside of your brand's guidelines that you've built. And number three, another big problem that I'm seeing over and over again when I'm working with startups is that they're focusing so much on acquisition without actually working out if their offer is correct first of all. So product and offer are very different. Product is actually what you're providing. Your offer is how you're getting that across to the customer. You can improve your offer with value, with price discounts or bundles, but you can also improve your offer on the communication. How is this service actually going to benefit someone, and structure it in that way? Otherwise, if you're just focusing on acquisition without changing your offer, you could actually be letting yourself down, spending far too much money to acquire a customer when your landing page or your actual product or service isn't properly ready to acquire a customer at the most efficient rate yet. And number four, another problem that I see people have, and it's linked to the previous one, is they're trying to scale too early. So I see this a lot of times with people that have just got fundraising, they've got the money in the bank, or particularly with founders that have already had successful businesses before. They want to get the product out there as quickly as possible and just chuck marketing budget on there. And kind of linked with the previous point, we don't have everything set up. Just our offer might not be set up correctly, but we also need to make sure the rest of the business is set up correctly so that when we bring in these customers in, we're looking after them and making them want to promote our product to the rest of the world, and to also keep on using us as repeat business and as happy customers. And number five, another big problem that I see is people are focusing on the wrong metrics when they're trying to get their first stages of growth. I like to keep things simple, and what I always say to business owners is what is going to bring revenue into the business as quickly as possible, and what is the biggest identifier of that. Followers are great, page views are great, video views are great, but how are they feeding down the funnel into people actually with some purchase intent that want to engage with our business and give us some money? Once we've got through that revenue stage and we're looking at things like ROAS, that's when we might want to look at things like contribution margin to say, okay, when we're spending all of our marketing spend and all of our variable costs that go into providing our product or service, how much profit have we got at the end of that, which means that we can actually go towards paying our fixed costs and scale the business further. And number six, now this is a mistake that I see business owners make, and you won't believe how common it still is, and that is avoiding testing because they want certainty. They don't want to be running all of these tests at different points. They just want to be jumping straight in. This is my brand messaging I want to go forward with, and just going ahead with that. As the years go by and you learn more about your customer, you can be a lot more certain about the marketing message you want to put forward. But when you're starting early, you need to be rapidly testing messaging, offer, different advertising types to see what you can actually acquire customers with. The next mistake that I see solo founders make in particular is they try to do everything on their own. Now, when you're starting a business, you need to be scrappy and you need to do as much as possible because you're the person who's leading the business at the end of the day. But do not be scared to allocate work to people that are specialists in their field, especially if it's something that's extremely important. For example, as a founder, if you are deep in the product or you are providing the service, you may need to get someone to help with the marketing who can look into your business from an outside view and look at how you can sell your product or service as best as possible. Or maybe your speciality is marketing and sales, but you might need to get someone on the product side of things, maybe a tech person, who can look at the experience the customer's going through and tweak it and make that journey a lot better. Somewhere else that new business owners go wrong is meticulously copying their competitors, like their ads or the website, without actually understanding why that works for them. The reality is that an advert or a website works for that competitor because they have meticulously tested what works for their audience. It's all well and good getting inspiration from your competitors. I am actually a big fan of doing that, particularly for creative inspiration. But at the end of the day, you need to still make sure that it's focused down to your customer and your product. Just blindly copying competitors is not going to give you good results. You'll think you're progressing forward, but you're actually just taking yourself down a never-ending path where you're not really going to find out what's resonating for your business. Number 9, a huge mistake that I see early stage business owners make is they don't actually really understand their customer. They think they're doing a load of surface level research about how they're interacting with their website and the comments that are on their ads and stuff, but you need to go deep into what your customer is feeling and thinking and why they purchase your product. Don't be scared to actually go through your customer list, drop them an email and ask them or offer them a little freebie or a free gift or a discount just for jumping on a call with you and doing a quick interview. Find out about that person in a real qualitative way, how they found out about your business, when they purchased, what actually made them go over the line to purchasing. The more you understand your customer, the more you're going to be able to target your advertising and your product to catering for their needs. And finally, I've left this one till last because I think it's the one you can take the most action on today. Overcomplicating their marketing strategy too early on is the biggest mistake that I see startup founders make when they're trying to grow their business. In the startup world, we have literally an endless stream of marketing tips and tricks that we're always told are going to 10x our revenue overnight. We get very tempted to try all of these things at once. When in actual fact, one marketing channel, one product, and one offer is more than enough to do huge growth for your business. So do yourself a favor, forget the 14-step complicated marketing funnels, pick one marketing channel that you can see is working for your business and focus down on it, double down on it, and don't get distracted. And that's it. I hope some of these have been useful to you. I'm sure some are going to be more relevant to some businesses than others, but these are the ones that I see come up again and again, and I'm sure there's going to be some ideas in there that you can start putting into practice right away. I hope this has been useful. I am trying to step up my YouTube game and carry on putting out new content like this, so if you found it useful, please do leave a like, subscribe, let me know any other pain points that you think you might have inside the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.